Okay, guys, I am so excited about the guests that we have today. First of all, it's only the second, uh, I want to say man that I've had on the podcast, but it's actually a dynamic duo of men. And it's the first duo that I've had the pleasure of interviewing. Sam and Ryan have been friends since high school. They recently teamed up to become the marketing department for a company called Extreme Motus, which we're going to tell you all about in just a second. Together, they go on adventures in the Emma X3 off-road wheelchair. From national parks to skate parks, Sam and Ryan are showing the world that nature is wheelchair accessible. Their TikTok channel, this blew me away, has grown to 138,000 followers, y'all, who come to laugh and to be not expired, to be inspired by this self-proclaimed odd couple. Ryan has been a content creator since the early days of YouTube when he took a motorcycle ride in 2007 from Utah to the Panama Canal. We're going to come back to that, filming videos and uploading from the road. Sam, much like Superman, was born with several special abilities. Number one, he can hold his breath during laughing fits so powerful, get this, that the US government once attempted to harness them as a source of renewable energy, which I think there could be some money there, you guys, but I don't know. Number two,
Solar power.
I know. Number two, the ability to laugh at all of Ryan's, again, self-proclaimed dumb jokes. And I feel like there is a serious theme of laughter here. In fact, I have to tell everybody that y'all reached out to me a few weeks ago with a video that was hilarious. It was basically the two of you laughing your way through, introducing yourself and your story. So I just want to thank you both for being here and for taking the time out of your schedules to share some wisdom with the audience.
Well, thanks so much for having us.
You're so welcome. So, we were talking for a couple of minutes before, and, this podcast is really all about the idea that we've all got stories to tell. We've all got challenges in our lives and things that make things difficult for us at times, but really showcasing people that have overcome those things, become better, stronger people for it, and are doing good things in the world now as a result of it. And you two certainly fit that bill. So do you want to just tell us a little bit about yourselves and how this friendship started?
You want me to take this one?
Yeah.
Okay, it's Sam. Sam and I have been friends. Like, our parents were friends in college, so we've kind of just had one of those friendships where we've always known each other. People ask us, when did you first meet? I can't remember. But friendships, they come and go, and I had times in my life where I was traveling. I was in the military. I was away from home, and so it's not like we've always had the type of relationship that you see on TikTok where we're always doing things together. But I had this job that was great. It paid a lot of money, and I really liked it, but I didn't really like my boss. And I was doing some freelance work, some video work, because that's kind of always been my thing. And
His jam.
And I found this company, Extreme Motus, that had this off-road wheelchair, and so I took one. I said, "Oh, you guys have to hire me. I have this friend who goes bananas over anything, over nothing right now." So like when we actually go out and do something fun, then he goes, he's like the perfect spokesperson for this product. And so together, because I'm pretty good at making videos, and he goes bananas over everything.
Right.
I went to
we can tell.
I said, I'm looking for a male model who can represent this company. And
Totally.
So Sam got the job.
And Ryan had the chair in his garage for a month, and our boss was like, why isn't he doing anything with the chair? If he doesn't do anything right away, I need that chair back.
We almost got fired right out of the gate
Oh,
because
no.
he gave me a chair, and I had some plans to do stuff with it, but
Yeah.
then life kept happening and I kept not getting to it. And we had done one little local trip, and I'd taken some video, but I didn't feel like it was enough to make like a really
Yeah.
good video. And then the boss was finally, he like gave up, and he came back and he picked up the chair, and I was like, let me see what I can do with what I've got here. And I made a pretty good video.
Yeah.
And then he was like, please come work for us full time. And so
Nice.
it was a really hard decision
Yeah.
to leave, because this was like a very young startup company, and I was leaving a very stable,
Yeah.
safe job, and it's still scary, but
At moments,
whatever happens. The company, the chair that we sell is the perfect chair for many people,
Yeah.
but they don't know that it exists yet. So
I didn't know that it exists.
right. So Sam and I just go on TikTok and we make these videos and pretty regularly break 1 million views with some of our videos.
That's amazing.
So
And you
just
guys,
get the
I mean,
word out.
yeah, and you guys go, I've watched some of your videos, and you go to the chair really eliminates boundaries, right? So
Yeah.
it allows you to go to all of these places that normally would not be wheelchair accessible, off-roading and mountain climbing and in the water and all of these crazy things. Can you talk just a little bit about the chair itself? Because my mind was blown. I thought it looked super cool.
Do you want me?
Go ahead.
It goes over rocks very easy, and it floats. And if you need it to float up, it has 2 pins where you pull the pins out and it folds in itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it's
chair,
real lightweight, right?
the chair weighs about 50 pounds, and it has these big balloon tires that have about 4 psi in them. So that's sort of the suspension of the chair.
Yeah.
It rolls over, it like smooths out the bumps really nice.
Yeah.
And those tires are big enough to also keep the chair buoyant in the water.
Yeah.
It's not an ocean going vessel. You can't just send it out there because it will tip over.
Yeah.
So you gotta hold on to it. But previously, if we would take Sam to the local reservoir, we'd put 2 towels on the sand. We'd pick him up in his wheelchair like the queen of the Nile, Cleopatra, and carry him across the sand and put him on the towels. And then he would sit there and bake in the sun like a tomato.
Yeah.
And now we can just blast across the sand and go straight into the water, and he can be out there with everybody else. And that's, the inclusiveness of what the product does is really what made me. Well, there was this moment. I'll tell you this story. We hiked Delicate Arch. There's a pretty cool. Delicate Arch is one of the most iconic places in Utah. It's in Arches National Park.
Yeah.
And y'all live in Utah, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Man.
It's on all of our license plates. This arch, it's the famous place to go. So Sam and his family had been there many years before, and Sam and his mom stayed in the van in the parking lot.
Had to stay in the van in the parking lot where my brother and my dad hiked to Delegate Arch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I had
so
a similar experience at the Great Wall of China. I got to stay in the van.
yeah. And so I said, let's get revenge.
Yeah.
And that's one of the first big trips that we took with the chair.
And Ryan is typically not your cry baby, but when we got up to that arch, he lost it.
Oh, I might have, got a little choked up.
Yeah.
I don't know about
A little
breathing.
sensitive, yeah.
But
Linda,
what happened was we got to the top and I was making a video and I was at, Sam and his parents were in the video. And I was just getting like how they felt about being to the top. And Sam's mom started crying and she's like, we've never been able to do anything like this as a family before.
Mm.
And
You guys make
that
me
was
cry.
kinda
I'm gonna be really mad at you.
I'll try not to. But that was kind of like the turning point for me because I was debating whether or not to leave this safe job that I had and come and try this new thing.
yeah,
But just learning, it's kind of like that epiphany moment that I had where, oh, this isn't just about the one person in the chair.
Mhm.
It opens up because his family probably wouldn't have gone to the national
Yeah.
park that day if Sam had to sit in the chair or Sam had to sit in the van. But now they can all go. It affects it affects Sam's family. It affects his circle of friends, his caretakers.
yeah,
They all have so many more options of what are we going to do for this vacation or this Saturday or
Yeah.
whatever.
So this is not a chair that you necessarily ride in around all day long, right? It's
No.
got, sort of special uses, and you use it when you are going to be, encountering certain kinds of terrain. Is that accurate, or?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's too long to like use indoors. I
you
mean, it's narrow enough to take through your front door,
and
but
that it.
yeah, you couldn't really like make corners like go down the
Gotcha.
hallway and turn into a bedroom because it's just too long.
Uh-huh.
So it's mainly an outdoor thing. But
But me and Ryan took it into a building, and basically Ryan had to fold me and the chair up to get it in the door frame of the building.
oh yeah, so it's like a typical outside door, exterior door is like 36 inches,
Uh-huh.
and the chair is made to be able to fit through that. But
Okay.
sometimes like older buildings
Oh
aren't up
yeah.
to code.
Sure.
So you kind of have to. We could get through the door, but you might have to repaint it after we come in.
Yeah, I've been there. So what would you say is the most extreme terrain that y'all have tried so far with this chair?
The yeah, pardon.
So sometimes we go to like local skate parks and we go on ramps and turn. If you go fast enough, those ramps become jumps and you catch the
Ooh.
air. But probably the most extreme place we went to is they're called like pump tracks and they're made for mountain bikes.
Yeah,
They're dirt and they make these jumps and
Yeah.
we were really sending it off some of those jumps.
and I got a sore neck that night.
Tim got a little whiplash.
Yes.
But we always ask him like, are you okay? Like, does this hurt? Do you want to keep going?
Yeah.
He always says yes, but
Yeah. I'm
he's
sure.
fear.
Pay attention to how your body responds to it, like any exercise or anything physical that you're doing. Yeah. Awesome. So how long has it been now since you were introduced to this chair?
A little over a year. Like
Okay.
14
And
months.
yeah. And so it sounds, Ryan, like you've always been a bit of an adventurer. Is
Yeah.
that true of Sam as well? Were you always kind of adventure inclined and
Yeah.
wanting to do these sorts of physical things?
Yes,
Yeah.
my family is an outdoor
Mm,
family.
yeah. Okay. Okay, very cool. Did I read something about a girl who climbed a mountain in this chair? Or am I
Yeah,
making that up?
it was an early like prototype of this chair of what we sell today. But the reason it's called the Emma X3 is it's named after a little girl. Well, she's more grown up now, but she's like in high school now, I think. But she was at a family reunion with a bunch of people up the canyon, and a very tall tree just picked that moment to fall over.
Oh,
And so it was this tragic accident, and the guy who developed and designs the chair was a firefighter, and he responded to that call and helped save the girl. And
mhm.
he stayed in touch with that family. And as she got older, she wanted to go more places and go on field trips to places where the other kids were going. And he was a pretty handy guy, and so he started building this chair. And the first version was only had one wheel, and you had to have two people balance it. And
Yeah.
I still think that would be very useful in some situations, but
Yeah.
most of the time for the trails that we go on, even if they're single track trails,
Yeah.
this chair with its three wheels can go on those trails
Yeah.
Mhm.
most of the time.
Yeah. So for the person pushing the chair, how much strength does it require? It may, vary depending on the terrain,
Yeah,
but
it all varies depending on the terrain and how heavy the person in the chair is. But like when we hiked to Delicate Arch, there's this one section of that trail where you look up and it's just this
Straight
giant rock, and it goes up what seems like forever. And
yeah.
so we'll have, the chair has like handlebars like a bicycle, and so you'll get on one side, and another person will get shoulder to shoulder with you on the other side, and then we tie ropes to the front of the chair, and that's just to lighten the load and for safety, and so we can go up steep stuff.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
the chair has really good brakes, so like going up that hill, there was four of us on it, just kind of pushing and pulling. But going down the hill, it was just me.
Yeah.
I was
Cool.
paranoid. I was paranoid. Like nobody is doing this but me, because I am gonna have a death grip on those handlebars. And then you just feather the brakes and you walk down. It's actually easier to walk down holding the chair, because sometimes walking down a steep hill is like really hard on your knees, and you're trying to keep yourself from running away.
Uh-huh.
But I liked it because holding onto the chair going down the hill just like made it easier.
Yeah. So the trust factor here is kind of big, right, Sam?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it would be super scary. One of these days we're gonna go out and I'm gonna get in the chair and have somebody throw me off some jumps. But it seems like, to me, super scary to not have control
Right.
and just be like holding on for dear life.
Yeah. Well, I grew up loving roller coasters and things, and so it sounds kind of awesome to me. But yeah, you probably need to have a little bit of a daredevil bone in your body. So talk to me a little bit about, just inclusiveness in general. Diversity and inclusion is a big topic right now. And, I feel like people with disabilities are potentially one of the most under-recognized groups of minorities in particularly in the workforce right now, but certainly in lots of situations. But just for y'all's information, I worked in high tech for 20 years, and more often than not, in fact, I can't think of an occasion and I worked for big companies, 10,000 people companies, and I can't think of a time when I was aware of another person in a wheelchair that worked at the company.
Right.
And so talk to me a little bit, if you don't mind, about, what your experience has been in terms of inclusion or lack of inclusion, and what you feel like the world really kind of needs to make progress in this area. I know that's kind of a big lofty question, but go with it wherever you want to go.
I mean, one of the reasons I was attracted to this company was that I knew that I could include Sam in this, and that he has always wanted a job, You know what I mean?
Right.
Like everybody, there's been periods in my life, like extended periods of time where I haven't had a job. And I mean, you'd think, well, retirement sounds great, but then you go a certain amount of time without something to do and you
Mhm.
go crazy.
Yeah.
Like everybody needs to wake up in the morning and have a job to do. So I like to be able to call Sam up and say, let's go to work.
Yeah.
You know, we've got unfinished business. Let's go to work. And as far as inclusion, like Sam is
Yeah.
a happy person naturally.
Yeah.
But when we go on these adventures, he's happy because he's on the adventure, but it's also, there's two parts. He's being included in a thing that he normally couldn't do.
Yeah.
And sometimes we would go without him on the hike.
Yeah.
But now he's there with everybody. And that's why inclusion is so great. And we have, you know, Sam, everybody Sam talks to, he tells about the wheelchair, and the TikTok channel has exploded in growth because of the way that people like to see his reaction to stuff.
Yeah.
Like the company Extreme Motus would be nowhere without Sam, without this guy right here.
Yeah, for sure.
So talk about added value from an employee that nobody else could do. Like he brings an element that's making this company successful with just this smile right here, you know?
Absolutely. And that's a great point. You know, I think that we all, you know, I give talks about diversity and inclusion, and I think that, you know, perspective is something that people with disabilities bring to the table. You know, we think about things that nobody else at the company is going to think of because of our experiences and our needs and those sorts of things. So I think it's a really important conversation to be having. And you know, the other point that you made about you know, being able to be with you on these adventures and with his social circle and everything. You know, human connection is one of our most basic needs. You know, we all know that, and I think we all know that even more after living through 2020, how important connection and inclusion is. And so that's another thing that I love about what y'all are doing, and the fact that this tool has been created to allow people with physical barriers to be included in these social things that people go and do. It's fantastic. So Sam, I'm curious to know tell me what maybe your top three like favorite things are, because I think too, I have a reason for my question. You know, I think people have ideas, make assumptions and things about people with disabilities, what they can do, what they can't do, what they enjoy that might surprise people. Would you kind of fill me in on what your interests are, what your hobbies are, the things that you really, really enjoy, apart from, you know, flying off of ramps and things at skating parks?
Okay. I go downhill skiing at a local resort.
He goes downhill skiing almost every winter.
Oh my gosh.
You know, we live in Utah, kind of famous for snow and mountains.
Yeah.
So how many years have you been doing that?
Since I was 16.
Since he was 16, and he's 38 now.
Okay.
So that's more years than I've been skiing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Can you?
Parents are saints. They've always made sure he's included and has the opportunity to do lots of things.
So
I love that. Do you want to give me some more things, or do you want me to ask you some questions about your skiing? Because I have them.
Ask me questions.
Okay, so can you tell me what skiing looks like for you? I mean, you know, there's probably some adaptive equipment that you've got, right?
Yeah. It's I'm on 2 super cuts in a bucket type thing that a the instructor is attached to me. He's like my emergency brake. If
Mhm.
I go down, he goes down with. So
I've seen it before. It has like two skis right next to each other, and they can kind of do this.
Oh,
as it
nice.
turns. There's
Yeah.
a shock absorber, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't get too bumpy, and then it sits. There's a chair on top of it,
Mhm.
and they both go down the hill. Sam goes first, and the instructor is behind him.
Oh,
And
okay.
they just
Kind of a
carve.
tandem, like a tandem jump out of an airplane. Is
Yeah,
kind of what's coming to mind.
there's like 10 or 15 feet between the two of them. Like there's a
Oh,
door.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Very cool. So what is on your list that you haven't done yet?
Oh, we have a huge list.
Yeah, give it to me. Maybe not the whole list, but
I was just going over like goals for 2021, and we did pretty good on TikTok. We did amazing on TikTok
yeah.
in 2020. I felt like we really stood out because it's a lot of people copying dances that somebody else made.
Yeah.
And 2020 was a real bummer. And then along comes this guy, and we're doing lots of positive stuff and having fun, and so people really enjoyed that. So for this year, and we kind of just posted videos when we got together and felt like it. But this year, I feel like we need to take it seriously.
Yeah.
No excuses.
Good luck with that.
Our goal is going to be to post 2 videos a day to TikTok. And so we made a list of like all the skate parks in, in a couple, within an hour's drive of where we live.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go to all the skate parks. There's lots of pump tracks around here for mountain bikers. And eventually we're gonna go to a skate park and get in a fight with some kids because that's one of our goals.
Yeah, put that at the bottom list of the list for me if you don't mind.
I think for a good video, right? We'll get beat up for a video.
Oh no.
We want to go to all the state parks in Utah and try to go all the national parks. And when a video, like you do interviews that are an hour long or so, but a TikTok video can be 15 seconds. So it's a lot easier. It's easier to accomplish 2 of those in a day. So I think we can make it happen. But yeah, those are a lot of our adventure plans for this year. National parks, state parks, lots of hikes, do some 5Ks. I'm gonna go run. That's not my favorite thing.
I'm
gonna try. We may walk parts, but we'll make it to the end.
Sure. Absolutely. So, okay, I have to go back to the motorcycle ride from, what was it again, Utah to the Panama Canal? How does one do that?
Well,
I don't know.
Pretty easy. You get on a motorcycle and you just start driving south. And then eventually you've come to the Panama Canal.
Okay.
But, I did that in 2007. And so that I rode somewhere around 13,000 miles through, I don't know, through all of the countries in Central America. So Mexico. I mean, I really, and I took it slow. I took like 3 months to do it because I wanted to see all of the ancient ruins and all of the waterfalls and all of the beaches and chase some girls.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Of course.
Absolutely.
It took baby steps all the way to the Panama Canal.
Yeah.
That was a great adventure. And I thought, we set up a website at the time. I had a friend come with me on the way down, and then he sold his bike and took an airplane home, and I went home. But we set up this website where we would both pick like a city that we wanted to go to, and then visitors to the website would vote, and then we would go there, and we made videos along the way, and we uploaded them. And this was like, these videos don't look good because this was prehistoric YouTube.
Yeah.
And I had a cheap camera because I was certain that we would get robbed and I would lose the camera. That never happened. You just get paranoid about that stuff. But Yeah, that was a great adventure, and I thought I would try to be like a motorcycle adventure guy, and that would become my job, but that didn't work out. I was missing the secret sauce here.
I think
Um,
so. I was gonna say, yeah, you just needed a partner. So um,
yeah.
I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but tell me about people's reactions. You know, when you go to the skate parks and things, and they see what y'all are doing, how do people respond?
Well, I joke about getting in a fight because skateboard kids have this stereotype or whatever, but
Reputation, yeah,
yeah, everybody at the skate park loves it. Like
yeah.
we'll go and do. Sometimes we could pull off some impressive tricks.
Yeah.
And there was this rail at one skate park that kind of started out low and got higher and went in like a crescent moon shape.
Mhm.
And we went and did that. And I heard this one kid say, geez, nobody could do that whole rail because it's like curves and it goes up and then back down. He's like, man, nobody can do that. So they're impressed and they clap sometimes when we do a cool trick. And so everybody's like really accepting at the skate park. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
They're like, you guys are on TikTok? Because I'm like in my 40s, you know.
Right.
So they go and follow us on TikTok, and
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Fantastic. So what I'm trying to think how to ask this question. I'm trying to figure out, you know, what it is that makes this friendship work so well. I mean, obviously you've both got this passion for adventure and getting out and doing these physical things, but you know, what is it about this friendship that's made it last through the years, the test of time, so to speak?
What do you think?
I don't know.
You know, we get a lot of like TikTok comments directed towards me, like saying, "Oh, you're so nice to spend time with Sam," or "That's so kind of you." But what they're missing in that 15 or 30-second video is what I get out of the friendship too. Like it's not a one-way thing. It's not me just doing service. I'm having more fun with Sam than any of my other friends.
Yeah. I hope they're not listening.
Yeah, heck with them.
They probably know it's true.
But Sam and I go out and I laugh harder with Sam than anybody else. And so I look forward to it. And if we go a certain period of time because, you know, of whatever, my wife works and I got to be home with the kids and things like that. And I'm down in the basement working.
I call him.
I start to go crazy.
And
I'm like, I got to get out.
yeah.
We got to go do. Sometimes we make videos called, like we have goals to make videos to go to the national parks and stuff, but sometimes our videos are called driving around being dumb. We just put a camera on the windshield and we go drive around, and I sometimes complain about stuff and then he just laughs at me.
Wow. See, you guys have the charm to pull that off. I would try that, and they would really just be dumb videos.
And sometimes I complain of stuff and he rolls his eyes at me like, what did you just say?
Oh, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. So would you say that, you know, what you said a minute ago about, you know, again, you know, sometimes I've experienced the same thing where people have perceptions of a friendship between myself and an able-bodied person, and you know, big kudos go to the able-bodied person.
Right.
And you know, do you feel like you're kind of dispelling that a little bit? Do you feel like you're kind of neutralizing that sort of perception a little bit? Is that part of your mission at all, or is it really just about getting out there and having fun?
I hope so.
No, I hope that we are changing people's perspective on life a little bit, especially because we're on TikTok so much, and that audience is particularly younger people who are maybe still in high school, teenagers, and I hope that some of those teenagers will be more open to talking to the people in their school that are different
Right.
in whatever way they're different. That's something that I hope about my own children, that they see this friendship.
Yeah.
And they invite the kids at school to their birthday party that otherwise maybe they wouldn't, because I don't know, when I was in school, there was like the special ed kids and they were like separate from everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
They had their own classes and they didn't like mix. But I've heard from people on TikTok that they've had in their school, everybody was together and they all made friends, and it was amazing. And I was like, wow, I wish our school had been like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how my school was. And my mom actually had to fight for me to, I'm not going to tell you how many years ago it was, but it's not how the world was. And there was that divisiveness and, and yeah, she had to fight for me to be in a regular kindergarten class, mainstream, with everybody else. And that's just, that just makes me sad. So it is. It is, yeah. So tell me what's next for Extreme Motus. Is their mission to keep improving on this chair? Will there be more iterations? Are they coming out with other products for adaptive things?
Ryan just showed me a picture of a bike hitch that we are trying to develop for the bike.
Yeah, so
Very cool.
We want to improve on the product that we have, but we also want to expand into other things. I think it would be cool if we could someday have an electric assisted chair.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that would help like senior citizens take, so wives could take their crippled old veteran husband to the beach again and be able to just twist the throttle and send him out there.
Yeah.
I also think it'd be nice to have a one-wheeled chair. So if you're doing like really extreme things, it's lighter weight and you can get where you're going. Mm-hmm. We also, Sam mentioned, we have a bicycle attachment. We recognize the problem that if you have, like a child, like when Sam was young, he had like a special stroller and a wheelchair and a special thing to hook to a bicycle, and you end up with a garage full of specialized equipment.
Right.
So we'd like to like replace all of that with one thing.
This my current wheelchair is a grandma wheelchair.
We call this Sam's grandma wheelchair, the chair he's in now.
Oh, nice. Okay. Kind of an old-fashioned one.
Yeah, we're gonna be able to hook up the Extreme Motus chair to like an e-bike and go on adventures like that, and
great.
All sorts of cool stuff.
So, I love it. I've got an umbrella idea for you. If you guys could knock this out for me, I just need an accessory where I can push a button and have an umbrella come up from behind me and open. So, for people that have trouble holding an umbrella, need something like that. If you could make that happen, that would be fantastic. We
will talk to Dale. He's the guy who, Dale and Todd are the guys who build the wheelchairs, and we keep them chained to a radiator in the basement. Nice, and, okay. They just come up with ideas. So I'll tell them about that one. Yeah, I would love it. Cool. Well, what parting words do you have? What's next for you guys? What's your biggest wish for 2021? Well, our company motto is to make nature wheelchair accessible. A lot of people like Sam, especially who needs help with everything. It's hard for him to he can't push his own wheelchair. So a lot of people like that, they almost never get outside into the outdoors, into that green space. And I'm no expert, but I've read articles and stuff about what happens to people when they spend all their time indoors in front of a screen and they don't go out into nature. And it sucks. You get depressed. Yeah. This is the truth about the things that suck. And that's one of the things that sucks, is not being able to go outside. And so we want to make these chairs, available to as many people as we can. And we're trying to reach out to different organizations like within the government to say, hey, you guys need to buy this and keep it at every state park in Utah and let people just come and borrow it and take it out for free. And you're not just going to get one more person there. You're going to get whole family reunions going there. Or otherwise they wouldn't have gone. So it's hard. It's really hard to find that right person within those big organizations who can say yes and approve that and unlock some money for it. But that's our goal is to get our product in state and national parks, and whether they decide to rent them or give them or let people borrow them for free, whatever, it's going to be a huge benefit for a lot of people.
I love that.
So we hope we can make that happen.
Yeah. Make sure you give each park more than one, because once word gets out, a lot of people are going to want them. So
right. I think so. I think they would be used like crazy.
Absolutely. So, wonderful.
We just need people to understand that vision.
Absolutely. Well, you guys, describe the vision well, and you put pictures to it with your TikTok videos and things, which is fantastic. So I'm going to put all of your information, your links, and to the website and to your TikTok and all of that good stuff in the show notes, so that people can find you and follow you, send you questions. I assume is there a place on, I'm not on TikTok, you guys. I'm also in my 40s and I don't go to bike ramps and bike parks. So, people don't want to see me on TikTok right now, but yeah, how can people ask you questions and reach out to you?
Well, you can search for Extreme Motus on Facebook or Instagram, or TikTok, or if you want to send me an email, it's just ryan@extrememotus.com.
Nice.
And we'll get back to you.
Awesome. Well, like I said, I'm going to put all of your links in the show notes. And again, I just thank you all for being here. You're so much fun to talk to. And I look forward to continuing to watch your adventures and see where life takes you next.
2021 is going to be awesome. We're going to work really hard.
Amazing.
Produce content and go on adventures. So stay tuned.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, thanks, you guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.